Hi, I'm Brian King, and it's time for another Five Things Friday. Did you know that there are five very common areas that women complain about when it comes to their husbands? I didn't either, but I found out, and I know that they're pretty common because my wife and I had to deal with every one of these in some way or another. So, what are they? Well, help with the kids, help with the chores, affection, non-sexual affection, dates, and feeling like they don't have a vote when it comes to making decisions. Like I said, we had to deal with all of these, and I want to give you some really quick tips to maybe help you navigate some of these this weekend. If you've heard some of these complaints, then listen up. Maybe it's time to take some action. Help with the kids. That's the first one. I don't know if you know it, but we get set up for this one big time because every sitcom for the last 50 years has made it seem like men in general are totally inept when it comes to dealing with children and kids. They don't know which end to clean and which end to feed if you listen to the sitcoms. And the mothers, the wives, are supposed to be super motherly automatically. They're supposed to just know what needs to be done. And that's what the culture kind of pushes on us as we move into our child rearing years. And it's very detrimental because basically the woman doesn't expect a lot from her husband because she thinks you're inept. And the man is fine to just let her deal with it because she's supermom. Well, neither's true. That's the problem. And when you're dealing with the kids, it needs to be a team effort. You need to have a plan. You need to really coordinate. And you're both going to have to learn. When I was a new parent, they handed me my son for the first time, and I can honestly say that is the first baby I had ever held. I held on with both hands, and the nurse tried to pass me something, and I'm like, can't you see I'm holding a baby? And she just rolled her eyes and said, "New dad." And I knew nothing. But I learned you have to. And the pressure from my wife to be like super mom, it was always there. And the tendency and how this plays out in a lot of marriages is that the wife is really still struggling to figure it out and do it herself before she can even try to explain to the husband how to do it. So she basically ends up pushing him away. And that's why you see so many divorces during the child rearing years, because the wives have all this pressure to perform and to just know everything. They don't. How could you? You just don't know until you take that baby home what it's going to be like. And, the husbands feel like, well, I guess, you don't need me to do this. And that couldn't be further from the truth either. So just big tip, just get in there. Tell her, hey, I don't know what I'm doing, but I'm going to learn because it's my kid. I want to be a good dad. I want to be there. I want to be part of parenting. And then as you go through the years, you're going to figure everything out. Like when you go places, have a plan. Plan ahead. Don't try to just wing it. If you have to divide and conquer, if you've got multiple kids, don't make her take all the kids and do everything. Say, I'll watch, first and second, you watch third and fourth, or however it works. But have a plan before you go out. It works so much better. Another area that is a common complaint is the division of chores. Now, I have to admit, when we were young, we had it so that we were a single income family. My wife stayed home with the kids. And when I wasn't working, I was working on the house because we built our own house. So the division of household chores, like the vacuuming and the trash and the doing the dishes and cooking and all of that, fell very heavily on my wife. And we were okay with that up until a certain point. because she knew I was building the house and doing other stuff. But like in the last 10 years, we've had it a little different because the kids were older. And the division of chores changes. For instance, when she started working her new career from home, and just because she's at home doesn't mean she's not working. She's working really hard. Even when she had the kids, she was always working really hard. But the point is, she's going to be tired by the end of the day, and you need to divide the chores. You need to kind of make sure, check with her and see, is there something that's really not working well because of your time? And take a chore. Take one you haven't done before. Like I said, when we started her new career, I took over the dishes. She had done a lot of dishes over the years. And basically I just said, I'm going to, you don't ever have to touch a dirty dish again. First she didn't believe me, but now I have to kick her out of the sink because, nope, those dirty dishes are mine. I took ownership, and I got some really good tools to use to clean dishes, and I figured out the best way to run the dishwasher, and it's just, I own it. You should own at least one major chore and then divide up the others. Like I will vacuum occasionally. I almost always take the trash out. We share cooking. Find out the thing that she likes the least, which is what was the dishes actually, and take it from her. Why? Because she needs to have time to relax too. Third one, not getting enough affection. And basically what that comes down to is if you only show affection when you're expecting to go up, to the bedroom and have some fun, then that's not probably going to be the best time. If you haven't been showing affection, you're going to not have anything in the tank. You need to have regular affection, holding hands. When we go out places, we hold hands sometimes. I look in her eyes. I talk to her. Make sure that I kiss her goodnight every night. And in the morning, I kiss her before I leave for work. And the other thing is like the overall level of affection, like I bring her little gifts. And when I do bring her a gift, I try to make sure that it's wrapped. Gift bags are okay for when you run out of wrapping paper. But if you're going to go to the trouble of getting a gift, go ahead and wrap it. Makes a big difference. I bring her flowers sometimes. Little gifts, little treats, holding hands, sitting on the couch and when you're watching TV and being close. Don't sit in your lazy boy where she's over in the other side of the room. Try to be together, have some together time. And that will fill her tank up, and it's good for you too. Anyway, another area where women tend to complain is dating. Don't stop dating just because you got married. You need to have a regular date time. And for us, it's Friday nights. We have a standing date on Friday night. We never miss it. We always do something. We have a certain place we really like, and we go there a lot. They know us. They treat us really well. And it's fun. And then also, I try to surprise her occasionally. If I hear about a new place that's opened, or if there's a place we like but haven't been to in a long time, I'll suggest it. She needs that. She doesn't want to always be the one trying to figure out what we're going to do and where we're going to go. She'll do some of that. I mean, my wife is the cruise director. And if I don't make plans, she will fill it in. But that doesn't mean she always wants to have to do that. As a matter of fact, I get a lot of points when I make the effort to do that. So that's another tip. And then the last one is, a lot of times when it comes to making decisions, women don't feel like they have a vote. And if you are always the one making decisions and you're not talking to her about it, it could be big decisions, it could be little decisions, it could be about anything from how to spend money to where to go on vacation. She needs to feel like she has a vote. She doesn't have to always get the vote, but she needs to know that you're listening to her and considering her ideas and opinions. It's extremely important because she needs to feel like you care about her. And that's one of the ways that you show that you care, is by listening to her. And, a lot of people say, well, I can't compromise and make decision, just do what she wants. When you make decisions together, technically it's not a compromise because you're both agreeing to it. You're not giving something up, you're gaining something. So, that's one to think about. So with the weekend coming up, think about ways you can help with the kids. Think about taking a chore and owning it. Think about how you could show some more affection if you haven't been up to snuff in that area. Take her on a date, that's number 4. And make sure that she has a vote and is able to express her opinions, be heard, and listened to. She has lots of good ideas. My wife does, and we make decisions best together. Well, hope you have a good weekend. That's it for 5 Things Friday. Thanks for listening. If you got anything out of this, be sure to like, share, and subscribe. See you next time.